Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Almanack of Naval Ravikant. In this video, we are diving into the ultimate guide to the Almanack of Naval Ravikant. You'll learn how to design a life that's both rich and free. We'll break down Naval's timeless ideas on wealth, leverage, specific knowledge, and happiness, and I'll show you how you can actually apply them in 2025. I've summarized every essential insights you need to know. So by the end of this video, you'll fully understand how to create wealth without losing your peace of mind. So who is Naval? Why should we care? In short, he's a very successful founder and also investor in Silicon Valley, and he invested in companies like Uber and Twitter. People follow him not just for his success, but they follow him because he's both wealthy and happy. His ideas come from his tweets, podcasts, and interviews collected in this book by the author Eric Jorgensen. And here's the thesis of the book. You can live a life of freedom and peace by mastering wealth, judgment, and self-awareness without relying on luck. And here's a roadmap of this presentation. First, we talk about the illusion of hard work, why working harder doesn't guarantee wealth. Second, we talk about the leverage revolution, how to scale yourself with permissionless leverage. Third, specific knowledge, find what feels like play to you but looks like work to others. Fourth, accountability and equity, why ownership is the real path to freedom. Fifth, happiness, removing desire and choosing peace as your default state. Last but not least, sixth, living free. Design a life that's authentic, peaceful, and productive to you. Illusion of hard work. Many people think if I work 80 to 100 hours a week, I'll get rich. But Naval says that's not the case. A chef working harder won't become a billionaire unless they own the restaurant or the brand. The takeaway here is that the effort without leverage just burns you out. Naval says wealth isn't about luck or hours. It's about how to use the leverage to maximize the effort. So work matters, but the leverage matters more, and we'll dive into the nitty-gritty details later. Wealth versus money versus status. What is wealth? Wealth is assets that earn while you sleep. Money is a tool to transfer wealth and time. And status is your rank in the social hierarchy. And the takeaway is that play the wealth game, not the status game. Alright, part 1, how to create wealth. Wealth creation mindset. If you secretly despise wealth, it will elude you. A lot of people feel guilty wanting money, being rich, so they never study how it works. Naval argues that ethical wealth creation is good and possible for anyone. You get rich by creating value for others. For example, Elon Musk solves energy and transportation problems, and the wealth follows the impact. So the core concept here is that the wealth is the reward for helping the world at scale, aka helping millions of people. Ignore people playing status games. Specific knowledge. Be irreplaceable. So here's the definition of specific knowledge. It's the thing you can't be trained for. It's what feels like play to you, but looks like work to others. And you find it by following your curiosity and obsession, not by following whatever the hottest trend is. For example, a YouTuber or TikToker who's actually obsessed with creating content, whether it's about the food or travel or entertainment, they gain specific knowledge. So the point here is curiosity compounds faster than any career hacks. No one can compete with you on being you. And that's your moat. Authenticity beats competition. If you copy, you just become a commodity. You are replaceable. But if you create from your essence, authenticity, you became a category. And we should always aim for this. Specific knowledge is often taught through actually doing it, not through education. Accountability and leverage, they are powerful multipliers. Accountability, attach your name to your work. Take risks publicly. That's because society rewards people who own their results. For example, Naval tweeted his philosophy under his own name, and he built massive trust. The takeaway is that they hide behind nothing and stand for something, so you can own the massive game. And leverage is what makes your judgment scale. Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth. Archimedes. And here's the essential concept in the book. Types of leverage. There are 3 types, and the first one is labor. This means hiring people and let them work for you. It's powerful, but it can be complicated. The second type of leverage is called capital. This means let the money work for you. You need to be smart and trusted to use it well. It's a powerful leverage. And the third one is the most important leverage in this era. Products with no extra cost to share or scale. This is the most powerful kind of leverage because it means that you can make something once, like a video, podcast, or app, and millions of people in the world can use it without you doing any extra work. For example, Mr. Beast and Joe Rogan earn tons of money even when they're sleeping because their videos and podcasts keep playing. Build it once and it can keep helping you forever. That's the key concept right here. Owning equity. The core idea is that you'll never get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business or an asset that earns while you sleep. For example, a lawyer earns per hour, but a law firm founder earns while sleeping. Who's making more money, right? So the ownership turns effort into freedom. So why equity matters? Without it, your inputs and outputs stay tied together forever. But with it, owning it, you earn even when you're resting. For example, doctors who get truly wealthy open clinics or invent procedures. They stop trading their hours for income. And here are some different forms of equity. First one is owning stock or shares. Second is starting your own company. And the third is creating intellectual property like online courses, apps, or contents like on YouTube or TikTok. Find your position of leverage. Leverage is infinite today. The internet and AI amplify curiosity more than ever. Following what fascinates you is a better career plan than chasing salaries, according to Naval. And the essential concept to understand is this: permissionless leverage. Anyone can write code, record a podcast, and post on YouTube. Nobody needs to give you permission per se. For example, a single tweet or video can reach millions of people while you sleep. So we are living in the best time in history to scale ourselves. Here's a new game we are playing. Forget rich versus poor. It's leveraged versus unleveraged. A leveraged worker's judgment is worth thousands of non-leveraged hours. That's because inputs and outputs disconnect, and the creativity and the impact becomes exponential. For example, without internet, you have to teach people one by one. But with the internet, you can create one video and have millions of people access it simultaneously, regardless of where they live and who they are. Leverage creates wealth. Judgment, the ultimate skill to master. Leverage multiplies judgment. Code and media scale you, but only judgment decides where to aim them. Judgment comes from experience and reflection, from learning what actually works. So build your judgment fast. And one way Naval suggests is read broadly. Reading is faster than listening, and doing is faster than watching. And avoid business fluff. There's no skill called business, according to him. For example, Warren Buffett reads for hours daily, not to act faster, but to think better. When judgment involves, every future decision compounds. Prioritize and focus. Time is your scarcest resource, so set a personal hourly rate that feels absurdly high. For example, if it's $100 per hour, don't spend 2 hours fixing a $50 problem. It forces you to make better decisions and kill small distractions. Naval set his hourly rate at $1,000 per hour when he had no money. Now when he looks back, he outperformed it. Be too busy to do coffee, but keep an empty calendar for what matters. Focus on what compounds, whether relationships, skills, or assets. 99% of effort yields almost nothing, but 1% creates compounding returns. The goal of life isn't to do more. It's about finding your 1% and go all in. Productize yourself. Yourself has authenticity and unique knowledge. Productize has leverage and scalability. And when you combine both, you become unstoppable. Ask yourself, is this authentic to me? Can I scale it through code, media, or systems? For example, an artist turning sketches into an online course. Same creativity, but infinite reach. So find the intersection of passion, skill, and need. It takes years to discover what only you can provide. So being patient is the key. Part 2 is about how can you live a happy life. It's about happiness, compound interest, and long-term thinking. All the returns in life come from compound interest, in money, relationships, and knowledge. You can't get wealthy overnight because compounding needs time. For example, relationships compound when you invest in trust, and knowledge compounds when you read daily. Play long-term games. Stick with the right people for decades, and every repeated iteration multiplies your advantage. So why must people fail? That's because they quit before compounding kicks in. They measure too early. Practice your long-term thinking. Happiness is freedom from desire. Core idea here is that happiness is our default state. It appears when we remove the sense that something is missing in our lives. We all spend our lives chasing more. The mind always says, I'll be happy when blah blah blah. But when that goal arrives, it instantly moves the goalpost again. So it creates a rat race kind of situation. Takeaway is that you can't chase happiness. You can only uncover it. Happiness isn't about positive thinking. It's not about forcing smiles or repeating affirmations. It's the absence of unnecessary desire. When nothing feels missing, the happiness appears. The noise stops and the presence returns. According to Naval, happiness equals peace minus desire. So why don't we pull out a paper and write down our peace and desire and calculate our happiness value? Happiness is a choice and skill. Happiness, love, and passion aren't things you find. They are choices you make. The mind is malleable like the body. You can train it. Each day, you choose how to interpret reality. Awareness interrupts the loop of craving. For example, imagine wanting a new phone. You are obsessed about it, you buy it, and within days you'll forget it. The happiness wasn't in the phone. It was actually in the absence of wanting before the next desire appeared. So we actually realize how short the happiness moment is. Here's the takeaway. Treat happiness as a skill. And practice letting go of tiny desires daily to increase your happiness level. The less you need, the freer you are. Presence, the only real moment. Happiness requires presence. Most of your brain is planning the future or regretting over the past, rarely experiencing the presence. The present moment is all that exists, and the rest is imagination. This one is actually one of the quotes I love the most in the book. Enlightenment is the space between your thoughts. I think that's very accurate and to the point. It's not a mountain to climb, it's a gap to notice. And each second of stillness is micro-enlightenment. And here are some practical steps. Practice single tasking. Look for beauty, a light reflection, a sound, or a scent, anything. And gratitude is a presence in disguise. Our reality is neutral. It's not good or bad until you label it and judge it. And the world mirrors your interpretation of the reality. Desire, the hidden contract. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. The fewer open contracts, the freer your mind. Here's the trap of external happiness. I will be happy when I get the job, the car, the subscriber count, or whatever. Each achievement creates new desires, and it never ends. So here's the important observation. Younger people have time and health, but no money. Middle-aged people have money and health, but no time. And older people have time and money, but not health. Having all three comes only from awareness, not accumulation. In other words, what really matters is not the external elements. The takeaway is this. Reduce the number of things that must happen before you allow yourself joy. Don't sign too many hidden contracts simultaneously because it suffocates you. The single-player game. Society teaches us to play multiplayer games. Money, looks, or status. These are competitive and external. But happiness is actually internal, single-player game. You are born alone and die alone. All interpretations, memories, and feelings happen only inside of you. Therefore, the only scorecard that actually matters is our internal peace. So switch from the multiplayer mode to single-player mode. Compete with your past self, not with anyone else. Choose intrinsic goals, mastery, growth, or contribution. Let others chase comparison, the status, and you chase clarity, acceptance, and mortality. In any situation, you have three choices. Change it, accept it, or leave it. Change creates desire and tension. Acceptance dissolves it. And facing death clarifies life. I think this is one of the most important concepts because the awareness of impermanence brings gratitude. When you remember everything ends, you stop wasting time being unhappy and complaining about the little things in our lives. Here's a quote I love from the book. You're going to die one day and none of this will matter. So enjoy yourself, project some love, make someone happy, laugh a little, appreciate the moment. That's beautifully put. So the game of life is about remembering that you are only here briefly. Treat existence as a playground, not a prison. Choosing yourself. Stop trying to live others' scripts. It kind of resembles Steve Jobs' Stanford speech. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Or you are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. All you should do is what you want to do. Listen to the quiet voice inside, not the loud world outside. Again, no one can beat you at being you, being your true self. So authenticity is our ultimate leverage. Escape competition through authenticity. That's what all of us should do if we want to live a wealthy and happy life. Original value creation requires obsession. To make something new and valuable, you must care irrationally and obsessed about it. For example, Steve Jobs' obsession on design turned glass and metal into art and emotion, something more than just a phone. The present is all we have. There is nothing but this moment, and we are missing nothing. The past is memory, and the future is imagination. Every moment is unique. You can't step into the same river twice, can we? So fully enjoy the ride of our lives. Here's the paradox though. You improve your life by realizing there's nothing to improve. That's because happiness doesn't come from outside. It's inner peace. Anyway, here's my reflection. Every time I rush into the next milestone, I'll remind myself, this moment is the milestone. And I can gain the happiness right now. Lastly, here's the action plan. 5 steps to implement Naval's wisdom into your life to live a wealthy and happy life. Step 1. Audit your games. Ask, am I playing the wealth game or the status game? Drop comparison and choose your own path. Step 2. Identify your specific knowledge. What feels like play but looks like work to others? And double down on that zone, area, niche. Step 3. Build leverage. Use the internet to scale your curiosity infinitely. Step 4. Practice presence. 1 minute of stillness many times a day. And treat peace as productivity, not wasting time. And step 5. Productize yourself. Combine your authenticity and scalability. Turn your uniqueness into assets that compound in the long term. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you want to see next. And also any feedback will be much appreciated. See you in the next one.